Hello, I'm Charlotte and this is Books and Bargains. Today I'm coming to you with a ridiculous charity shop haul. If you've been watching me since the beginning, you will see that after I've had surgery and I start to be allowed to go out a little bit, but still not allowed to carry anything or go back to work, etc., I tend to make my full-time job charity shopping, as I'm allowed to walk, and with having my backpack I'm allowed to carry a few books at a time. And so this month I have bought a lot of books. I spent £26.20 and bought 49 books. I thought the easiest way for me to sort this out was to go by different places that I went charity shopping. I am going to be making soon some charity shop guides to these places, so I hope you're excited for those. So anyway, we will start with Colville. I've been to Colville a few times this month, and here are the books that I bought from there. So the first one I picked up was Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. This was 50p from the Marie Curie Cancer Shop, which has now unfortunately closed down, but I don't know when I'm going to get into this one. This is a proper chunk of a book, but as I've said before, I absolutely love reading non-fiction. The next three that I bought, I mentioned these in a vlog, so if you watch my vlogs you'll have already seen these, but I was in the shop mobility shop and there was a Mari McFarlane book that was quite battered, and I turned to Tom and said, I'm really looking for Mari McFarlane books because I've heard so much about them. And lo and behold, I went into the veterans charity shop, and for 10p there was Don't You Forget About Me by Mari McFarlane, so I picked that up. Also for 10p, I picked up Lindsay Kelk's I Heart Hawaii and Jill Mansell's Maybe This Time. On the same day, like I say, I was in the shop mobility shop and I picked up The Accidental Further Adventures of the 100-Year-Old Man. I read the first book to this a couple of years ago. It was the weirdest book that I think I've ever read, but I really, really enjoyed it, so I had to pick up the sequel. And then on a different trip to Colville, in the scent shop I picked up Ben Goldacre's I Think You'll Find It's a Bit More Complicated Than That. Now, I have Bad Science and Bad Farmer by Ben Goldacre, but haven't read them. And again, this is in immaculate condition. I was going to say miraculous condition. And for 50p, it is such a chunker again. These books, I tend to start reading little bit by bit. I can't get into them the way that I do my fiction. I have to read a bit a day, but I'm really looking forward to reading that. And then on the same trip, I went into Loros, where their books are 50p or 3 for £1 at the time when I went. And I picked up Alice Walker's The Colour Purple, and the woman on the till said to me that this is a really good book. Then I picked up Sleep by C.L. Taylor because I've heard such wonderful things about it and still haven't got round to reading it. And I also picked up The Woman Who Kept Everything by Jane Gilly. This sounds beautiful, about a 79-year-old hoarder called Gloria. That's going to be me one day, isn't it? I say one day, like it isn't already a thing. Anyway, at the beginning of this month, again, if you watch my vlogs, you will have seen we went to Northampton. And while we were there, I went into a few charity shops. I went into the Bernardo store, I think it was. There, if you know Northampton at all, there is a shopping centre. And I can't off the top of my head think what the shopping centre is called. But opposite it is a Bernardo's donation centre, a Deborah charity shop and a Bernardo's shop. And the Mandarin Chinese, which was gorgeous, but I'm going off track here. And so in the Bernardo shop, the books were 40p, and I picked up The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda. I picked up The Sealed Letter by Emma Donoghue, again, mint condition for 40p. And I also picked up Nina Is Not Okay by Shappy Corsandi. While we were there, I think this was in the Age UK, and I think this was a complete cover buy. and because I've heard some booktubers talking about it, and it looks like a small book to read, and that is Jerry Spinelli's Stargirl. I never got round to reading this as a teenager, so I'm making up for that now. Then in the shopping centre, there was an honesty box, and so I think we put £1 into this, and I picked up Bird Box by Josh Mellerman. Everybody knows this now that it's a Netflix movie, but I haven't watched it and haven't read the book. And then I think this might now complete my collection, or I might have one more to get, but it's Lucy Daniels' Christmas at Mistletoe Cottage. I can't remember what charity shop this was from, but I also picked up Jacqueline Wilson's Wave Me Goodbye. As you all know by now, if you've been following for a while, I am collecting all of the Jacqueline Wilson books in hardback, and myself and Lucy from Thrifty Bookish Lucy are going to be running Jackie July, which I'm really looking forward to. And then, last but not least, while we're in Northampton, we went to the Deborah charity shop, and I picked up 10 books for £1. So when we went into the Deborah shop, where the books were 10 for £1, there were 2 that I really wanted because I've wanted to read them for ages, and then I'll explain why I got the others. So the first is The Girl on the Train. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this as much because I have seen the film, so I know what happens, but I'm really looking forward to reading the book. And also Riley Sager's Final Girls. I did used to own this, but it was a small mass market paperback, and the writing was way too small for me to read, although this doesn't look much bigger, so we'll see how I get on with that. The next 2 that I picked up from there are actually in series that I want to start reading. So I got Peter James's Dead at First Sight, and I got James Patterson's Ninth Judgment. Please let me know if you've read either of these, and if I have to read the series in order, or whether I can just dive in as they are. Then one that I'd seen on BookTube and I've been told is really good is Orphan X. Again, don't really know anything about it. I then picked up Marion Keyes' Anybody Out There because I hear such wonderful things about Marion Keyes' writing and haven't read one. And so I was on 6 books, and then I spotted this collection. And this is Kathy Cassidy's The Chocolate Box Girls. And I think there's quite a lot. I think there's 5 in this series, and I've got 4. So I'm looking forward to getting into those. Back in Leicester now, and at the Extra Care charity shop, I picked up 2 more Jacqueline Wilson hardbacks. These were 99p each, but they were on buy one get one free on all the children's books. So I've got 4 Children and It, and The Worst Thing About My Little Sister. Oh, The Worst Thing About My Sister. I am finding Jacqueline Wilson books that I didn't even know existed. There have been so many released since I grew out of them, but I'm really enjoying reading them. I then have 2 books that I bought from the British Heart Foundation, and I know watching this you're going to say that these aren't expensive, but to me, when I spend a lot of time in charity shops where books are 50p or less, these are they're on the higher scale of things, let's say. So I picked up Peak, How All of Us Can Achieve Extraordinary Things, and that was £2. I've picked this up because I've been feeling a little bit, I think worthless is too strong, but I definitely feel that my worth has depreciated a bit recently, so I'm looking forward to getting into that. And on the subject of that, I also picked up Jane Hardy's The Self-Care Project because I need to be practicing self-care a little bit better. I also picked up in the Age UK shop in Leicester, We Need to Talk About Kevin, and this was 49p. This looks like a really heavy book that I don't think I'll be getting to anytime soon, but once I'm in a bit of a better headspace, I think I'll be picking this up. Then I went to Loros, where I get drawn in to the fact that the books are 25p, and I picked up Little Girl Gone by Alexander Burt. I think probably because of the fact that it was in such good condition. I picked up Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult because I've heard that she's a fantastic author and I really need to get round to reading her. I picked up Take Me In by Sabine Durrant because although most people don't seem to like her books, I read Let Me Lie early last year and really, really enjoyed it. I picked up Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell because I've seen the TV series and wanted to read the book. I picked up the Secret 7 collection, 1 to 3, 3 books in one. I will probably be giving this as a gift to someone. I picked up Tales of the Beadle and the Bard by J.K. Rowling. And last but not least, I picked up I Let Him Go by Denise Ferguson. I saw a booktuber talking about this, and this is about the true crime case of James Bulger, who was murdered as a child. I don't remember anything about the case at the time because I was the same age as him, but I remember my mum telling me about it years later and how it shook her. This one was 50p. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to... It feels weird saying I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've already read the first chapter and it's heartbreaking. So again, that's one to be put away for when I'm in a better headspace. In the last week, I have been trying to push myself to go further on the bus. One of my biggest anxieties is long bus journeys, and it's a mixture of my anxiety and my IBS. But I'm proud to report that I have done now several long bus journeys and been okay, and I'm going to hopefully push myself even further next week. But the first place that I went wasn't even that far, and this was Queen's Road. This is near the University of Leicester, so it's not within the city centre, but it's 10 minutes on the bus. And I picked up this series of Thumped and Bumped, or Bumped and Thumped by Megan McCafferty. These are rated quite lowly on Goodreads, but from what I read from the synopsises, it's a kind of dystopian universe where girls are basically... a virus has made everyone over the age of 18 infertile, so teenagers are now the most prized members of society, and would-be parents desperately bid for conception contacts. And I thought that sounded really interesting. And as I was about to leave, I saw this one, and this is Sectioned by Hilary Coveney, and it's her experience while detained under the Mental Health Act, and I'm going to put that away to read for Mental Health-a-thon. I then started to think about really curating what I bought from charity shops and trying to pick only things that were really high up on my wish list or were a really good bargain. And so I went to Blaby, and Blaby did good. The first thing that I bought from Blaby was a Geekerella, and I think I sent this someone in a book swap, and this was 95p. This is from the Air Ambulance shop, and couldn't not get that really. And then I picked up the Mummy Bloggers. I was kindly sent the sequel to this, How to Be Perfect, and I really loved it. So I've wanted to read that for ages. And this was £1.25 from the Mind shop. And then the last one I picked up was Unnatural Causes, which I've wanted to read this for so long. I cannot believe that I found it. I yesterday went to Odeby and I picked up 2 of the Agatha Raisin books to add to my collection. They are The Wizard of Evesham and The Terrible Tourist, and they were £1 each. And then the last place I went, I again picked up 2 books that were on my Amazon wishlist as high priority. So I picked up Llewyn Goldie's Nightingale Point. From what I've heard about this, I don't know whether I've got this really wrong, but I think it's based on the Grenfell disaster. I think, yeah, I'm not sure, but that's what I think. I also picked up Heartburn by Nora Ephron, which I have been absolutely dying to read. And the last book I picked up, I'd never even heard of before, but I love Ray Earl, and that's Oh My God, I'm in Love with a Geek. And this was £1 from the Scope shop. I forgot to say the other ones. They were £1 each, but buy one get one free from the Air Ambulance shop. And I then found out that this is the second in the series, so I'm going to be looking out for the first. So there you have it. They're all the books that I bought this month. If you didn't already see my book mail, that was on Tuesday. And now I can just focus on getting all these put away in my shelves if I have anywhere for them to go. I would say that I'm going to try and slow down in March, and that is true, but I'm not putting any pressures on myself. So until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, and always be kind.